on the Sooner Sports Network from Learfield, live at Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. This is Sooner Sports Talk, presented by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Sooner Sports Talk is also brought to you by Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards, and by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is Sooner Sports Talk. Now, here are your hosts, Teddy Lehman, and the voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland.
All right, here we go, everybody. Big week. The greatest game in American sports coming up on Saturday, 2:30 down in Dallas. It's OU Texas number 120, and we're going to talk about it with the head coach of the Sooners, Brent Venables, coming up in just a couple of minutes. But right now, please help me welcome my co-host. He won a Butkus and Bednarik Award, and he's the best color analyst in all of college football, Teddy Lehman, everybody.
T-Row, how we doing, brother?
What's up, dude? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic.
Fun week.
Crazy week. That was fun.
Did you ever do anything in OU Texas? I can't remember. You ever make a play?
No.
Did you get in? You got in, though.
Played.
You got in a couple of snaps.
Logged some snaps for sure.
Opening segment presented by Noble McIntyre Law, the law firm you should turn to for all of your personal injury needs. 27-21, Ted, OU over Auburn a long time ago, but that was a lot of fun we had down there, wasn't it?
It was really cool. The atmosphere was great. That was a cool stadium. They had the orange out going on, and, you know, it was a big football game for us going in. There was a lot on the line, and there always is, but you felt like that could have been a tipping point one way or the other, and end up being a crazy football game, and I think we got some momentum coming out of there.
I was going to say, could a win like that propel a team? You've been in the locker room.
Absolutely. I think so, especially, you've got a quarterback change going on, and, he makes a couple plays, especially made that nice play early, had the deep ball late, and you feel like that's maybe a little bit of a spark for the offense that they may need to propel them forward.
Kip Six, Kip
Lewis.
Lewis.
That was crazy. That was so cool. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
He's such a good kid, and he's played fantastic all year. He had a really good year last year, and he built on it throughout the offseason. He put on weight. He's more physical now. He's got a better understanding of the defense, and man, when he's out there, he's always making plays behind the line of scrimmage. It was awesome to see him make that, went stumbling backwards, looked like he was on roller skates, and then made that awesome interception. It was a foot race.
You're looking for the oxygen over there on the sideline. When OU Texas is 1 week away, it's kind of hard to kind of pace yourself so that you don't peak too early. When it's a bye week before, you got 2 weeks, I would imagine it's been a little bit of a trick just to kind of make sure all the emotion isn't spent before Saturday gets there.
Yeah, I think it helped having the game they did against Auburn where, it takes a couple of days to digest that, relax a little bit, and you'd be surprised that the guys are pretty good at compartmentalizing those big football games. When they got a bye week, they enjoy the bye week, right? Whatever downtime they've got, you're still going to get some practice in and all of those things, but they're going to enjoy themselves, and it's going to ramp up this week for sure.
Okay, we're going to take an opening timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by the head coach of the Sooners, Brent Venables. We're going to preview OU Texas and take a quick look back at a big fourth quarter comeback at Auburn. Stay with us.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. Walden Cleaners and Laundry, where the difference is quality. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bob Moore Ford is proud to honor service members through the Patriot of the Game. Log on to Soonersports.com/kids for information about joining the Sooner Junior Kids Club presented by OG&E and brought to you in part by Orthodontics exclusively, Mathis Home, and Devon Energy.
Out of the shotgun, Thorne all alone. Empty set. There's the snap. Back to pass. Looks right. Darts one across the middle. Intercepted. Kip Lewis has it. Far sideline 50.
He's
down
going.
the sidelines 40. He's to the 30. Kip Lewis down the sideline being chased to the 5. He reaches. Touchdown. moment. That'll go down in the history books. Welcome back, everybody, and please help me welcome right now the head ball coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, Brent Venables, in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Howdy, sir.
Hey, you were really excited. Really excited.
Yeah, I was pretty fired up.
What was Teddy
because
doing?
You probably don't remember this. You were behind, and that put you ahead. So
Right.
It was an exciting moment.
Yeah, it was.
Teddy was going crazy.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
What were you doing?
I was focused on trying to get everybody ready because we got to go back out. So I'm trying to get them some water.
Take me through the call, though, on that whole play as everything unfolded.
Yeah, they're in an empty set, and we got a man zone blitz. It's a combination. Try to attack their protection. It's that call's actually had like 5 defensive touchdowns over the last.
Aaron Rodgers threw a pick into it this
years.
weekend. Did you see that?
Did he?
Same thing.
Nuh-uh.
The same
Is that
exact
right?
thing. Yep.
Ronell Lewis had a touchdown against RG3 one year, and but anyway, so they're in an empty set. We're overloading them, and we're trying to, get a free guy. We did. The quarterback had to make a fast decision because he got a free hitter on him. The defensive end is free, and Kip did a great job dropping. He's a hook player and dropped right in the slant window, and you're kind of baiting them into that, and again, now you're just looking for flags. You're looking for flags, and then you're like, we got to get these guys right back on the field. So you're you're talking to everybody because you have a sub package that's out there. So all the defensive coaches, they want to dance and celebrate and lose their mind, and we got to get the kickoff team ready.
Right.
And we got to get the defense ready to get back out, and we're going to have to get another stop, in order to win. So that's really kind of the focus, for me.
Then you did get another stop, and R. Mason Thomas shows up again. A couple of big plays there at the end whenever you had to have it.
Yeah, RJ had the big sack as well, and R. Mason, was you saw on that last one, you saw him jump the rock. And just get an amazing jump, and you're like, it's over. We just won, before he gets there. And, there it was. I don't know if that was it. That's the next one. He had 2 back-to-back in a row. But you saw him have the jump. And the coverage, we felt they would have to squeeze the ball, under the circumstances. Once we got them to no timeouts where they had to, play without the luck. 2 things, to be able to make it they have to get a touchdown. So Zach Schmidt, getting the 2-point conversion, and Zach Schmidt hitting the field goal, put him in position, once we scored the touchdown where they had to score a touchdown in order to win. And so when they were forced to use their last time out there, when our offense was still on the field, that really sealed the deal. They to me, as far as they had to go, it was over.
We were going to talk a lot of OU Texas tonight, but when you think of everything that your guys did well in the final 6-7 minutes of that game, the Hester catch, the sacks, the pick 6, the 2-point conversion, the kicks by Schmidt. I mean, the final 7-8 minutes of that game, you said Sooner Magic as soon as the game was over.
Yeah.
Just what a memory.
Yeah. Well, for where it was just a really, we went for it on 4th and 12. The analytics had us going for it on 4th and 18 because of the time on the clock. We're down by 11. We haven't been able to get into plus territory as much as you would like. It's not just a given. Although we were down there several times and we had 8 penalties in plus territory offensively. And going in, we had been the top, least penalized team in the SEC going into the game, and we had some really critical penalties. So we got back there again, and you don't want to go for it. There's not a lot of great calls for 4th and whatever it was. Maybe it was 4th and 8, 4th and 10, and but we had to go for it there, and then they turned it right back over where they had to punt it to us, and then we connected on the big pass play right after that. But yeah, I mean, so then he connects on that, and those have been there. It's just a matter of connecting, and we started playing like we're capable. We've played that way in spurts, not near enough. We know that, and but we've had, even in that game, we had several explosives. We had a touchdown we had to take off the board. We had a 50-yard catch and run by Bauer Sharp that they called an interference. We had a a couple of runs that put us in, in one of them would have had it 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, and we don't score on that drive. We had a holding call, and I didn't love the call. It's, I've seen a lot more egregious calls than that, but it is what it is. That's kind of, you create your own luck, and but we haven't been able to, make some of those layups, if you will, and so everything does kind of go, again, just we executed and we complimented each other, and in all three phases, and and really it's not like it was it was flukish. We executed. We threw it down the field, and JJ catches it, and Zach makes a kick, and then we make a 2-point conversion. We got a very nice design zone blitz that's done exactly that several times in the past, and then we got them in a situation where we got to get a stop there, and they have no timeouts in a 2-minute drill. We worked that twice a week, and our guys were ready for it, and they executed. And to me, that was a snapshot of what we're capable of being. This team this year, there's still nothing off the table. And some people look at you like you're crazy, and that's cool. I get that, but I don't live in that world. I live in what's real, and we have to get better. We got to improve. We got to get better. But if we play to our potential, and some guys come along, and then we make the plays that are definitely there, and we do a good job as a staff of putting our players in a position to be successful. We got to create ways to get guys open. We got to create ways to, whether it's formationally or motion, certain kind of runs where we have leverage. Now we got to maintain the leverage. We can't get whooped at the point of attack, and we have gotten whooped more than you would like. But my expectation is, okay, how many more times are you going to get whooped? Because we're capable of not getting whooped, and and of executing, of maintaining leverage, and just through the snap of the whistle, maintain leverage. He's not supposed to cross face. He doesn't really want to cross face. Now, if you let him cross face, he will. But his coach told him to stay in that gap, And so, so strain to finish. And every once in a while, maybe pull him in a little tighter, right?
Yeah.
That you're going to have to do sometimes. But I know what this team is capable of, and I know we're down 7-8 starters, from when we started the season, on offense and defense. But the next guys that are in there are getting better. And like what we saw last week and what we're seeing now. And, again, that was just a really small snapshot of what we're capable of doing and becoming.
I thought the young quarterback, Michael Hawkins, going out there, and he made some big plays, but I thought maybe the most impressive thing is didn't put the ball in harm's way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really clean and efficient and with the decision making.
Yeah, and I agree. It's a great point. That was what he did best. Take care of the ball. Again, I think we're 12-0 in our last 12 games that we've won the turnover battle, and we know, and then the stats over a long period of time are going to say exactly. They're going to emulate that. You're going to win more games than not. We've shown that we're an opportunistic defense that can create some disruption, and then we've been the best in the college football when we have created that disruption and we turned them into points. We're the tops in the country that way, but he did a great job, and he was tough, and he was physical. He finished some runs and he got whacked a few times, but you're right. He did have great ball security the whole time, and like I said, did some really, really good things. And again, he missed some opportunities like you would expect. And
I liked how assertive he was. He was up in the line of scrimmage, calling stuff out, communicating.
Yeah, and he'll continue to get better. Like where he's at. Really like things. Again, left practice earlier today. Man, I'm excited. For lots of reasons. But this is a group of guys. They continue to believe. They're not a group of guys that are. I know maybe some of our rankings and stuff are certainly nothing to be desired. But that being said, these guys believe in each other and believe in what we're doing, what we're capable of as much as anything. And so that excites me, how the passion, the energy, the toughness that they've showed up with all last week, and they know. And again, I think last weekend was probably a lesson for everybody. Not so fast. And again, we're not getting ahead of ourselves. We're just focused on trying to have a great Monday practice, and we did, and we'll do the same thing tomorrow, and try to get as prepared as we can and have a great showing this weekend.
This segment brought to you by Dos Equis. Let's take a quick break. We'll start to talk OU Texas when we come back with head coach Brent Venables. Stay with us.
Sooner Sports Talk is brought to you by Norman Hyundai, your premier Hyundai dealership for new and used cars. The best place to gear up for game day is shop.soonersports.com. The Sooner Sports Podcast is your all-access audio pass to Sooner Sports. Listen as Toby Rowland and Chris Plank talk all things Sooners. New episodes drop every day. Log on to Soonersports.com/podcast or search Sooner Sports Podcast in your favorite podcast provider. Presented by Allstate and Riverwind Casino. Orthodontics Exclusively is a proud sponsor of the Junior Captain of the Game. Junior Captain is the ultimate fan experience for children 6 to 12.
Welcome back, everybody. This segment brought to you by the Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. Toby and Teddy back with you alongside Coach Venables. Moments ago, the captains named for OU Texas 120 for the Sooners: Ethan Downs, Bauer Sharp, Danny Stutzman, Billy Bowman, Fabechi Wiwu, and Dominic Williams. A good group.
Yeah, great group. Yeah, good, strong group of leaders.
Did you get to watch any football games on your bye week?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
I love college football, like you guys.
What a day.
I love it. A lot of anxious moments, and you learn a lot just about ball. Watching other people go through different scenarios and whatnot. What would you do here? Everybody. That's what I would have done too, right?
Yeah.
It works. Not me. I'll take a guess at what I would do there, and then punish myself if it was wrong, and celebrate big time if it was good. But no, it was a really good day, and it's a lot of fun. Which just, as much as anything, you see where there's more and more parity in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just another day of affirmation, as much as anything. And I like it. I like it. I've always liked the underdog. It's always, a good underdog story's fun, and Darth Vader got taken down.
Yeah.
So, not that's again. I don't want to be the poster child for Alabama people, but what a cool. I know Clark well, and that's really cool. When you're trying to build a program and get guys to believe, and why not us? And that's that's a really cool thing to experience when. You need to have something good go for you, go for you and your players. So,
yeah, it's crazy just to look at this conference. I mean, I agree with the parity across college football, but even just in the SEC, everyone has their idea who has the tough schedule and who has the easy schedule. Well, all of that, you can throw it all out the window. I mean, every single week, anyone, it feels like, can beat anyone.
Well, you saw a couple of weeks ago, Kentucky gets annihilated by South Carolina. Then they come back and had every opportunity to beat Georgia all the way to the last play of the game, and then they turn around and then they beat Ole Miss in Oxford and really played well. And then you thought, well, South Carolina's been actually playing pretty good. Their front seven is, and I've been watching South Carolina for well over a decade now, and that's the best front seven I've seen them have by long ways, not even close. And so you thought, well, they got Ole Miss at home, and Ole Miss just came off they just kind of got Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson there the week before, and then next I don't know if it was 27-3 or something like that.
It's quick.
And so anyway, and then you saw several other upsets, and Cal. Took Miami to the ropes.
I mean, three top 10 SEC teams go down.
Yeah, 5 top 11 overall.
You got
Missouri
two.
just got.
Yeah, you got 2 and 3. Was it they 2 and 3? Minnesota, were they 2 and 3? Beat USC.
Yeah, I don't know what the record was.
But And but there were several that
Yeah.
were like that. Even you thought Michigan, they just won the Natty.
Right.
And Washington was decimated through the transfer portal. Everybody left, and they find a way. They beat Michigan at their place, and so it's it's a lot of fun. I'm just I like that. I like the uncertainty and the drama. So this is what everybody asked for, and particularly the players. In the situation with the portal and whatnot.
As it applies to your football team with a bye week, I would assume there are different ways you could approach a bye week. What did you choose for where your team is right now?
We obviously got exposure to some opponent stuff, both in the film room and on the field. Worked hard on fundamentals and really just try to make it a lot about us and get good at the things that we want to do from a fundamental and a scheme standpoint, both. We had 3 days of practice. We had 2 of them without pads. Just really felt this team this year needed that. And if you had some other years where you've been really, really healthy, and so you can get after it for 2 out of the 3 days anyway. So we chose to pull back a little bit from the contact. And again, 90% of our injuries have all happened in games, or they happened a year ago in some games, or some guys have had some things happen on game day that have set them back. But we did that. We had a service day with Soul Mission. We went and served at the community on last Tuesday, and the coaches worked hard on recruiting, and then we try to look ahead to not only the 25 class, the 26 class, in anticipation what the locker room is going to look like, and so we worked on that. And the coaches went on the road. We had a team meeting at like 5:30 in the morning on Thursday last week, and we were done by 8 o'clock, and so the coaches could get out and recruit. And so that's what we did. That's what we spent our time, and everybody had the weekend off. We got back in the office on Sunday.
Do you feel better where you are health-wise? You had some guys, that have been battling through some stuff. Do you feel like you got some guys feeling a little bit better than they were?
Yeah, yep. And I feel good that for sure from a receiver standpoint, we'll have some guys back in a few weeks. So Jalil and Burks. We'll see where Burks is here, in the next couple of days. But Jalil's at, he's right there at 6 weeks now, close to that, and he'll be out of his boot in a couple of days and start getting back in shape and things like that. And so, we'll get a couple of those guys back, if, pending there's no setbacks, along the way. And that's great, and they're excited. It's good to have those guys back around. Andrell had another little cleanup surgery. He feels really, really good. He had that sometime here recently, and he feels really good. But so we'll see where that is here in a few weeks as well. And then we had some other guys that have been banged up. They just kind of been fighting through it. So that helped these guys get. It's your normal bumps and bruises. That's going to happen, But hard to believe that here in just a few days we'll be halfway through the regular season, just like that. And but it's exciting.
Well, you got the number 1 team in the country in front of you on Saturday down in the Cotton Bowl. You said you like being an underdog. You're an underdog in this game by a significant margin.
Yeah.
What do you think about Texas?
They are an excellent team. They're very. There's no real weak spots. They've got a nice, complete team in offense and defense, and the kicking game. And they're playing really well. Playing with a lot of confidence, a lot of precision, timing. Looks like they're healthy. I know they had their running back issues, but Blue is a great player, really explosive, and they've got some other. They've recruited well there, and so it's going to be a great challenge. And I think 4 times in the last 20 years, I think you've had a favorite by 13 plus points, and those 4 games have been 2-2. And so we know that the point spreads don't win the games, but we know we got to go play well, got to prepare well, got to have a great week of practice. You can't have a sorry week and think all of a sudden we're going to play great on Saturday. So you got to have a great week, put together a great plan, and really like where we're at in that regard. And then it's a game of doing. You got to go execute, and you got to do all the things that winning requires. And but I'm really excited. Our guys are the focus is on us. and what we need to do to improve and show up ready to play at a really high level. And yeah, there's a DNA, there's an opponent, there's the emotion and the passion, intensity, and all the pride that comes along with this game, and that's a lot of fun too. You know, to be a part of that, and you embrace that too. You don't run from that, you embrace that. But you can't just be excited to play. You know, you gotta again do the things that winning requires: the discipline, the physicality. You know, taking care of the football, running the ball, creating explosive plays, playing great situationally, and so it'll be a lot of fun. I think the last time that we played each other, and there was, you know, somebody was number one. We were number one in 2008, and they won by 10 points. And we went on and played in the national championship that year. Well, we had some injuries and didn't play great in the second half on defense. Played good enough on offense. And then the last time we played the number one team in the country, I think, was Missouri in 2007.
Chase Daniels.
And, yeah, get Chase Daniel.
Got after him.
Yeah, we did. So our guys are gonna be ready to play. Make no mistake. And but we got a great challenge in front of us for sure.
Last time Texas came into this game ranked number one, Mac Brown was OU's offensive coordinator.
84, right?
Yeah, 1984.
Is that right?
Yeah. 1984. What do you think's most dangerous about their offense, Texas?
There's a lot of things. They got a veteran offensive line that can protect. They run the ball well. The quarterbacks, both of them, they execute at a really, really high level. The receiving group is really, really good. They're really fast, explosive. They can take the top off you. They're aggressive in their play calling, and they're going to do a lot of things from a play action standpoint. They're going to keep the numbers in to protect the quarterback and get a lot of, you know, shots down the field. They do a great job in their screen game, their RPO. They're just really, really balanced in what they do, and they execute at a really, really high level. Whether it's third and fourth downs, or again, it's, you know, P and 10s. You know, they're just a very highly efficient football team where they're playing really complementary football. They're not overly complicated on defense. They're just good at what they do, and they've done a nice job recruiting. Both out of high school and in the portal, and filled some spots, and they're physical up front, and they've got good depth in their back end as well, and then their kicking game has been really good.
Their quarterbacks aren't exactly the same. I mean, Arch has got a little more athleticism to him, maybe. Does it matter? Not that it matters who you face, but are they different enough that the game plan would alter for which quarterback they have out there?
Not really. No. They're going to run their – if you put the tape on and then all of a sudden they're doing this package with this quarterback, and then when this quarterback's in, they're doing something totally different, then that would be the case. But they're not. They're executing, you know, and you're always looking at, all right, what are the things they're really majoring in? Maybe they lean a few different things, but overall it's relatively the same.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We got one more segment with Coach Venables when we come back here at Rudy. Stay with us.
We want to thank all of our Sooner Radio Network affiliates across the state and region. Fans can check out Soonersports.com for an affiliate in your area. And if you're traveling outside the state of Oklahoma, you can listen to all the action on either SiriusXM Radio or download the Varsity Network app and listen free. OU's 2024 football games are available on Exodus 96.5 FM in Oklahoma City and 101.5 FM El Patron in Tulsa, as well as on those stations' websites. Each OU Spanish broadcast will feature a 30-minute pregame show and a 15-minute postgame show. Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. See your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealer.
Welcome back to Rudy's Sooner Sports Talk. We're hanging out with Brent Venables. This segment brought to you by Pike Pass. Make it home safe, Oklahoma. I'm going to hit you with a couple of viewer-listener questions to start this last segment we get with you, Coach. Our Rudy's questions of the night. Real Texas barbecue, Rudy's Country Barbecue. This is from Justin in OKC. To commemorate the late, great Mike Leach, can we please plant another fake playbook at the Cotton Bowl this Saturday? Not a bad idea.
Well, the only thing with that one, and that was kind of funny, but we didn't win that game.
Yeah.
But we did jump out
You
to
got out
it.
to
It
a big
wasn't
start.
because of
Close
the
to winning
offense.
it.
It was because of Teddy and the defense.
Hey, I
Were you
wasn't
here?
there. No, I wasn't
No.
there.
Did you know that when he did it, or did you find out later, like Coach Stoops?
No, I knew.
When
yeah,
he did it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a good idea at the time?
Heck yeah.
This is from Rob Wilson. What is the most non-football memorable experience of OU Texas weekend that you've had? So something other than what happened during a game. What do you like most, I guess, about this ride?
It's the bus rides home with the players. Those have been the wins. You know, after you win, and it's that locker room. You know, the joy, the celebration, the exhaustion, and then it's getting on that bus together. And for 3 hours, man, you kind of go up and down the aisle, and then maybe you're watching the video or you remember something, so you go back and you bust chops, and man, you just have a good old time celebrating it together. You put a lot into it, man. You put every ounce of who you are as a competitor and as a teammate, and so it's cool to be able to celebrate. And you beat your rival, it's always a big deal. And this is there's not another rivalry like it in all of college football. I really believe that. And so being on the right side of it, that's probably what I've always enjoyed the most.
What about you, Ted? How would you answer that question?
Oh man, you talking about non-football?
Yeah, something other than on the field. What do you like most of? You're too focused to enjoy anything else, aren't you?
Pretty much, typically, yeah. Don't enjoy anything at all on a game day. But I think it's funny that we used to, 100 years ago, whenever we won, we'd stay there at the fair and go around.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that
Coach
these
Stoops
days?
let you guys out.
Yeah.
Go get corn dogs.
Everyone come back in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
and
we
we'll-
did that last year.
Did you?
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, players loved it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That was a lot of fun. I'm just thinking about that.
Did you have some iced tea?
I had some cold tea. Yeah. Went up on the Ferris wheel with a couple of wax teas, I guess you would call them.
Serve
Yeah,
that tea in
that was
wax
awesome.
cups there, don't they? Yeah. Go ahead, Ted. What else you got for Coach?
Well, I don't know. I guess to me, the Auburn game, it felt like maybe a tipping point for you guys. And do you feel like you gathered momentum coming out of that football game?
Yeah, we got back on track. There is a real thing that comes from that, from a confidence and figuring out. And we literally said, this is going to be a game that we got to figure out. There were going to be moments where, we leave a lot to be desired, and it's really sloppy. And there's going to be some moments where we dominate. There's going to be some ups and downs. Take care of the ball, figure it out in the fourth quarter. Let's find a way to win. And then it came to fruition. And so, the players you just got to keep swinging, man. Just keep swinging, keep fighting, keep believing. And then, again, you got to lean on each other. That's whether it's good or bad, you got to lift each other up and be there, have each other's back. And we really felt going into the season we'd have 6 or 7 of those kind of games based on the opponents and kind of who we were as a team. And as we're developing that identity, I'm glad this is a team that's been challenged. This is a team that's gone through the fire. There's been some refinement through the fire. And this is a team that is battle tested. And I think you can't put a value on that. And so I think, you see a team too that there won't be a sense of panic. That won't be the last. Some of those kind of moments where you got to make a play, you got to get a stop, you got to make a kick, you got to convert, you need to make a play. And our guys, as you develop, your identity through a body of work, those are things that will continue to be who we are as far as our DNA.
This is a crazy game because it seems like, you tell me if this is true or not, coaching decisions can be affected in this game depending on what side of the field you're on.
Yeah.
Are we on our end or are we on their end? Because we might go for it on our end, but we might not go, There's no other setting like that where you may do something on the north end of the field that you may not do on the south end of the field. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. And that wind in there too, it spins a little bit, kind of like our stadium as well. But yeah, the crowd noise is a real factor on both ends. And so, it does. It affects, what's going on, in the course of the game from a strategy standpoint.
Is there anything that you have to tell a a first-year quarterback, first-time starter in that football game that maybe you don't a veteran?
You know, it's more the same what you've been trying to coach. You know, Mike's a guy that, for example, that's just he's like that racehorse that, you know, in the stable, man, and at the Kentucky Derby, and he's trying to jump out ahead, you know, and you got to kind of pull him back, which is a good thing. But at the same time, look, don't try to win the game in the first drive of the game or the first quarter. You know, play within the scheme. You know, trust, you know, your process, trust your fundamentals. You know, don't force things, and don't let the emotion, you know, the emotion of the moment, don't let the moment itself hijack, you know, the discipline and the fundamentals and the details that it takes to win at that position as you lead. And so he's a mature guy, and so that piece will lend him, you know, that'll serve him well in this game leading up to it. But I think we would be negligent if we didn't continue to try to nurture that, you know, what all that emotion, what that's going to be about, you know. But that emotion, you know, can beat you too, you know, if it's not channeled the right way.
One of the great stories in Auburn, you're down your top 5 wide receivers. You needed somebody to step up, and here comes J.J. Hester with a Superman cape on in the fourth quarter, and, you know, he had a rough start to the year, and I mean, fans are on him a little bit, and he came up big for you. You're going to need him the rest of the year too, but that had to be special to see him come up big.
It was, and again, that was a real shot in the arm for him. He had a couple of plays. He had another play that he caught underneath. Maybe this was it right here, and just showed some toughness there. You know, took a shot. I think that's always great for those skill guys to take a shot and be able to get right back up. See, look, man, it wasn't that bad. You know, they're not that big and bad. And so you're wearing pads, brother. And but he's also played really well in the special teams. Yeah. You may not notice him out there on special teams. He's played really well in the special teams, and so timing's everything. And we've been dying for an explosive play. And he's gotten open like this a few times. He had one that he let through his hands several weeks ago, and so great, good for him and good for us. And we're going to need him to continue to be able to make some plays for us. And he's long, he's super fast. He's got a great catch radius, and that'll only build, you know, his confidence.
I know a couple of weeks ago you moved Jacoby Johnson from corner over to wide receiver. Is you still seeing him progress like you'd hope?
Yeah, and we're trying to have a little package for him both on offense and then also still on defense to keep him fresh there. You know, he's a fantastic special teams player, and you know, he can help on both sides of the ball. And we don't want to overwhelm him mentally, but he's put in a lot of time, and so we'll have some stuff that's, you know, that he can execute.
R. Mason has been great for you all 4 quarters, but there's a little something going on in the fourth quarter with him. Do you see a different look in his eyes? Everybody's starting to call him the closer now and everything. Do you see
really?
a little something different in him in the fourth quarter?
Well, again,
five of his 5.5 sacks have been right at the end of games.
Yeah, and I'd have to go back and just look at situationally. My guess is that we've put them in predictable situations, and he can rush the passer. Yeah. And he's a good football player. But when that tackle has to pass pro, and the quarterback has to get into a 5 or 7 step drop, and it's not all quick game, and there's not the RPO, you know, R. Mason is a problem. And he has shown that. So that's a lot of fun to see, you know, that swag come, you know, from him. And again, he's a guy that has been well documented. He's been banged up, and he's had, you know, been snake bit that way, you know, from an injury standpoint his first couple of years. And so to see him be able to play at his full potential, you know, he's a dude.
I got to imagine that the entire defensive line, a bye week was good for them. I mean, you've got a really good, solid rotation, but not incredibly deep. Those guys have played a bunch of snaps.
Yeah, and, you know, so, yeah, from getting guys just feeling really good and getting them a little extra weight work in the right places and working on different body parts and the elite recovery, things of that nature, and less banging is going to be big for us. And I like it. We have 2 bye weeks, and so we got this another stretch here where we can go just put everything we got into this next stretch, and then we'll have another bye week to kind of close out the season. You know, all those things being said, you know, that's going to, again, serve us well.
Well, On behalf of everybody here, I'd like to say, go beat Texas.
Hey, let's
Thanks
go.
for being here today.
Yeah,
Brent Venables, everybody. Thank you, Coach. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
Thank you to our cornerstone television partners, OU Health, OG&E, Fowler Auto Group, and Coca-Cola.
All right, wrapping up Sooner Sports Talk. What caught your ear from what Coach had to say tonight?
Oh, well, I think that he feels pretty good about where they are as a football team. Like, they've made some really good strides, and the fact that they showed that they can execute in all three phases at the end of the Auburn game, gives a lot of, hope probably isn't the right word, but
it's encouraging.
Look, we can do it. You guys can do it. You can execute. And, and the game wasn't perfect. Obviously, they penalized themselves a lot. They made plenty of mistakes. But whenever they needed to, they went out and they executed.
This segment brought to you by your Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers. We got Caleb and Gabe's bold predictions in the first show. How about yours for OU Texas?
Have we scored a special teams touchdown this year?
We have not. Not a touch. Oh, yeah. Kanik. Scoop and score on the
That's right.
Fumble. Yeah, first game of the year. We could score another one.
I know we can. I think special teams, because I think that it is – you have to give Texas the advantage. They've played good football up to this point, but this game is always going to be close no matter where the teams are. And in close games, I always go with special teams is the deciding factor. I say we score touchdown on special teams.
Special teams touchdown. I like that a lot. Yep. I'm going to go with a guy we asked him about there at the end. I think J.J. Hester is going to be buoyed by his performance in Auburn. He needs to be a big factor. I think he's going to be. I'm going to say 2 touchdowns for J.J. Hester.
Wow.
In this game. He doesn't have a
capable.
touchdown since 2021. So that's a big, bold prediction.
He's capable. He is big. He's physical, and he can run.
2:30 kickoff. We'll have pregame coverage for you at 11:30 in Dallas. Boomer Sooner, everybody.
Sooner Sports Talk has been brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, bringing you the best in real Texas barbecue. And by Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Sooner Sports Network.